Today, I wanted to talk about why I love the apocalypse genre. This was my first step into this genre. This door. This is more my home than my hometown, really. I feel more comfortable here. And I level up in this game. Can't do that in real life. So this is a post-apocalypse game. A game where society and the world had an abrupt end. You may think, how could anyone love a world that's just ended? But like, is the world ended? They're still going. Good people still go. Bad people still go. They're still around. Humans love to struggle. It's part of who we are. In the past year of my life, I have learned that struggling isn't useless. It sounds cliche, but there can always be hope. Even in a world like this. I know this is just game design saying, hey, look, a town that way. But this is also this town saying, we exist, we're alive, we can keep you safe as long as you follow our rules and, don't try and murder anyone. But in a way, this is hope. For someone, this is hope. For your character, this is hope. But the apocalypse has a lot of upsides for someone like me. It'll have upsides for someone like that guy up there. It'll have downsides for someone like this down here. That's a robot. But I think the greatest upside to this world for me is the complete freedom of choice. Sure, in this game I can press F5, do this, and have no problems from it. Yeah, sure, no consequences. But even if that weren't the case, I could still do it, even without having the magical F9 press. Quick save, the save at all. Complete freedom of choice. This morning, I woke up in a bit of a daze. Scrolled on my social media of choice. And just, woke my ass the fuck up. Decided it's time for breakfast. Bought some bagels yesterday. Cinnamon raisin, my favorite. Grabbed a knife out of the drawer, filled with all the silverware. What does this have to do with apocalypse? Well, I was holding that knife, and I thought, man, my skill set as a human being was not made for society. It was made for this, probably. But I'm either too early or too late. I'll elaborate on that a little bit. You see, I'm good at blending in. In high school, you'd never find me if I didn't want you to. Even at my last job, you wouldn't find me if I didn't want you to. I was pretty good at just blending into crowds and just hiding my presence. Not exactly the most useful skill in modern day, but it's what I can do. Anyways, I was holding the butter knife to butter my bagels. Holding that knife, I think, man, I am skilled in some things, I know. Those things aren't worth time of day to most people. I didn't know my biological father very well. Reason being, he was in jail most of my life. Prison, to be exact. He was a thief. A pretty bad one at that. Got caught a couple times and sent to prison several times. But it made me realize that was part of his skill set. That he was just able to do that more easily than others. And as I was holding that knife, thinking about my father being a terrible thief, but still having those skills, I thought about how I have my own skills that are similar, yet just as useless. Granted, there are uses to it, but none that can help me. Not in this society. Insert Joker meme here. And I realized a lot of people probably feel like this. They have their skill sets and they don't know if their skill set is even useful. I could give examples, but I gave you mine. Maybe you can tell me yours. My skill set is not designed for my life. My skill set is designed for something else, really. This. You can consider this either the world of an apocalypse or a video game. Either way, this is where I prefer. And it's where I've always felt most comfortable, and it's where I felt like my skill set actually makes sense. And like I said earlier, it's part of the reason why I love apocalypse genre. In this world, you can make any skill set work. The world is dead, but it is beautiful. It has its own beauty. Sure, there's corpses everywhere, radiated buses that explode if you shoot them too much. But it has its beauty, with its sorrow, with its ugliness. Everything beautiful has its own ugly side. Everything ugly has its beautiful side. I feel like I'm just waxing poetic at this point, but you get it. I've spent 15 minutes saying, this is my home, several times. But, to get to the crux of the video, the apocalypse is where you can make your skill set work. Sure, someone will always have a skill set that works better than yours, but that's how it works in the real world too. But in this world, every skill set is valid, even if your skill set is immoral. Because people are just living their lives, and so are you. And you can end their lives, and they can end yours. If you truly want something, you can work hard for it, and there's no barriers to entry. Maybe I just like brute force. But in this world where your skills matter, it feels right. One of the things I wanted to talk about was, and don't click off the video, My Little Pony. Back in high school, I watched a lot of Friendship is Magic. It's a good series. It still is. And they have these things called cutie marks, right? Sounds innocent, sounds cutesy, but they're honestly a little scary. See, a cutie mark is your special talent. And everyone has one. Everyone has their special talent. Your special talent is basically who you are in that world. And it is daunting to think that your special talent will be what everyone sees all the time. They don't wear fucking pants, they're horses. But what if your special talent is that you're a thief? Do you hide this special talent? Are you proud of yourself? Are you allowed to be proud of yourself if you're a thief? If you go to prison, or in this case jail, you go to jail for being caught as a thief. Are you let go on the case of it's in your nature, you must do so? I mean, you're born with it. It's not like it's your choice to be what you are. And it just bothered me a little. Because that's how it is in the real world, too. We don't have a little mark on our asses that say, this is what I'm best at. But we are best at something. And it's not always good. People do disgraceful things. Just because they can. It makes me think of the old tale of the scorpion and the frog. The scorpion stabs the frog as they're going across the water, knowing they'll both die. But it's in his nature. Is it true? Can he just not be who he is? Is it okay for him to be who he is when he just ended something else's life that was also supporting him? It's almost existential thinking about these things that can't really know. Maybe there's an answer. Maybe someone knows. I certainly don't. But the world is as it is. We are who we are, and sometimes it's important to accept that. But is it more important to accept who you are, or the morals of the world? This guy's gonna start shooting at me. Where do you think you're going? You shot first. Wow, blackface in this day. Gonna get canceled on Twitter, buddy. I mean, I'm beating up a dog, so I guess I will too. Is it more important to be morally right, or just, or is it more important to be who you are? I suppose that's a personal choice. Not a good or bad choice, but a personal one. This game sure does look prettier when you can barely see it. My point is, in the apocalypse, morals don't matter, right and wrong doesn't matter, you matter. You get to be who you are, who you want to be, unabashedly. You get to kick barrels around all you want. There's no such thing as no rules, but there is such a thing as nothing to tie you down. Maybe this is what it felt in the Wild West, to be an outlaw. There were still rules, there were still morals, there was still right and wrong, but you got to just be you. You got to live how you wanted. Also, how do I find Smith Case's garage? No problem. Meandering around when I try to find it, when I'm trying to do a quick run of this game. It takes me hours. I have the audio off for this, by the way. It's like some kind of sandwich. Or like a skewer of meat. You could say this world is kill or be killed. Only the strongest survive. Anything like that. That's not true. Children are still born. The world continues in spite of itself. People choose their own path, even if they become outcasts or outlaws. Your path may lead to death in a sewer. Your path may lead you to a normal life in a little town where you just get to sip a drink and listen to a weird guy rant about a fucking nuclear missile. Well, nuclear bomb just sitting in the middle of your town. And hey, I think as long as that's what you chose, that's what's important. Life is about choices. Games are about choices. You can interpret anything how you want, but that is your choice. Thank you for your gift, dead one. This person, when they died, their choice was to sit in this hole. Survive as long as they could, and apparently didn't survive that long. To be honest, I started talking about this because well, I wanted to. This is what I felt like doing with my time. This is who I want to be. Just this solid image of a rabbit talking to you on the internet. If you choose to watch this to the end, respond to it, harmonize with it, so to speak, feel your own feelings from it, that is your choice. I think that's what's important about this game, our lives, the real world, the apocalypse. It's all about choice. Just getting to choose what you want to do. It's much more important than anything else. Because even if your skill set isn't designed for the world you live in, you can choose to use it or not. Am I advocating for you to become a thief if your best skills are being a thief? No. That's stupid. You'll go to prison. It's just in a fantasy world where you can just go up to a random stranger and shoot at them until they die. Stab yourself with infinite healing items that'll save you from death. Shove a bunch of food in your mouth. You just can't do this. It's absurd. Oh, I leveled up. But you can choose to increase your skills in whatever way you want. Sure, it's not as easy as this. Being able to just put everything up to an even, flat level. I suppose my meandering point in all this is be yourself. And if you have to be yourself in a video game, some sort of role-playing setting, doesn't matter. Just be true to yourself. I've gone through a lot of struggles in my life. A lot of it wasn't good. Probably nearly died a couple times, even just being a simple high school kid. But now that I'm an adult, and I know better, I know that it's important to keep struggling. This whole time I've been recording this, I've been listening to a song from the Berserk 1997 anime. It is called Guts, because it's the theme song of Guts, the main character. If you've ever watched that anime, do it. It's wonderful. But that theme used to make me sad. Now, it gives me hope. I guess what I'm trying to say here, folks, is that instead of feeling like not being able to make your choices is the end of the rope, just know that you can always make your choices somewhere. There will always be hope. And hey, if this world doesn't work out, maybe we'll get lucky and an apocalypse will happen for us, huh? I have been recording this for 40 minutes and I have no idea if I've said anything of note. Anything that could be helpful. I know I have to edit it down. Certainly. But if it helped you, give it a like. I might do more stuff like this in the future. But I don't know. I did this entirely without a script, by the way. This was just me riffing off of my own thoughts, which is probably why I was so meandering and nonsensical at times. I got this idea from a YouTube video where they were just playing Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and talking about talking about something. And you know what? I liked it. Not because of what they said, but because of the style they said it in. They decided that they just wanted to get their thoughts out there and make a video. And it didn't matter if the video wasn't highly edited or, like, perfect. And it resonated with me. I've been scared of making YouTube videos because I always feared that they wouldn't be good enough, or that no one would watch it. You know what? It doesn't matter. If no one watches this except for me, then I'll have made one person happy. Even if I sound like a sappy fool. Because it's important to me. This is my favorite video game, my favorite world, my favorite genre. It's a part of me. Fallout 3 is a major part of my life. It's not the best Fallout game, doesn't have the best writing. The graphics are old and shitty, but it's beautiful, and I love it. So, in an attempt to sound as sickeningly sweet as possible, if no one's told you, you can love yourself too. It's okay. No one's perfect. Maybe you're also a video game from 2008 with terrible graphics, tons of glitches that you can see just walking around, dialogue that could have been written better. Sure. But you can love yourself. You can love the flaws in you. The good, the bad, the up, the down, everything. As long as you can learn to accept yourself and be who you are, then you'll be okay. Because if people can accept great games with great flaws, you can accept yourself. If people can accept that the world is how it is, even if you're running out of it is how it is, there's still something you can do. And that is accept you. Accept the apocalyptic chaos that is your own heart. That is your own soul, your own life. Accept that vodka has worn off. I'm still just saying nonsense at this point, but yeah, I think that's it. Do what you want. Be who you are. You are you, and you can accept that. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you want more, I guess. And, yeah. That's all I got. I'm gonna keep listening to this, Berserk theme. Because it's good. That's probably not how I should end the video, but whatever.